Chapter 4. Even in the most barren wasteland, a flower always grows. Recognize this and learn to adapt to your surroundings. Dr. Bryce Haynes, planetary ecologist assigned to study Dune World. With her family balanced on the cusp of survival, Dorothy Mapes vowed that every moment on Dune World and every action would count. This is a serious planet that demands undivided attention, she observed, gazing out the oval porthole as the Lincoln transport ship cruised over the Sea of Dunes toward a line of stark, black mountains. Seated with Jesse on the starboard side of the transport, she saw his attention focused on a looming dust cloud that approached like an inexorable Catalan tide. Moments ago, he had said he was having second thoughts about this side excursion he had ordered the pilot to take after the cross-space journey, flying over the desert for 100 kilometers instead of landing directly at Carthage. But he had wanted to see what the planet was like, showing his concubine and son where they were going to live for at least 2 years. Now she hoped it wasn't a dangerous mistake. "I think we can beat that storm," the pilot said. "I sure hope so, because we don't have enough fuel to go back into orbit." Jesse did not say anything, and neither did Dorothy. He squeezed her hand in a private way that imparted reassurance, telling her that he wouldn't let anything happen to her, or to young Bari, who sat at another window, transfixed by the alien vistas outside. After more than a decade together, the nobleman and his concubine had ways of communicating through only a look or a touch. He ran a fingertip across her diadem promise ring. Though Jessie was the patriarch of the noble house, Dorothy Mapes took care of important business details and family matters. She had once compared herself to the wife of an old Earth samurai, with her access to and control over a great deal. She understood full well that the spousal analogy was only her wishful thinking. Because of the Empire's strict and convoluted society, Jesse could never marry a commoner, no matter how deeply he cared for her, and how essential she was to him. Dorothy was the mother of his son, the male heir to the House Lincoln. Although she taught the boy important skills, she also pampered him. Too much, according to Jesse. The nobleman wanted Bari to face enough adversity to make him strong. Under pressure, Dorothy would yield to Jesse's commands in this regard, or appear to do so. Then, invariably, she would return to indulging the boy. "Oh, I hope we get this soon." From across the aisle, the kindly old family doctor fidgeted in his seat, while staring straight ahead and refusing to look out the window at the dizzying landscape sweeping past. Cullington Yue had bristly gray hair and a salt and pepper mustache. "Oh, these bumps and vibrations are making me nauseated." Carthage, Carthage dead ahead." The pilot's small voice squeaked over the speaker from the bridge. "Prepare for more turbulence as we approach the mountains." Wonderful. Yue turned even paler. Through the oval viewing window, Dorothy watched the city come into view, buildings and cleared areas interspersed among the dark crags. Such an ominous looking place, expanded and fortified by the Hoskinaires during their 18-year tenure. Narrow roads ran through gorges and valleys. Blocky ledges held dwelling complexes, and smaller habitation domes connected by paths and steep steps. Many of the largest buildings were linked by trams and tunnels to the rest of the fortress city. Though Carthage had no major spaceport, several airfields had been blasted into the rocks and then armor paved, resulting in two main landing zones on opposite sides of the city, one larger than the other. The pilot circled a flat area near the headquarters mansion. The russet and black structures of Carthage peaked around bulwarks of rock. Winds began to buffet the craft in advance of the storm, like a squadron sent in to soften up the enemy before a larger onslaught. The craft lurched and swayed, eliciting another round of miserable groans from Dr. Yue. With a resounding, rocking thump, the craft set down in a level region sealed by armor pave, surrounded by sharp cliffs. All around them, local ships and shuttles landed swiftly, eager to outrun the storm. They were like desert hawks, rushing back to their nests in the high rocks. Particles of sand pelted the windows. "We're home," Jesse said. "Dune World looks like a nice, friendly place." Dorothy hardly recognized the two men who came forward as she and her party entered the central lobby of the receiving building. Dust swirled around their boots, bodysuits, and desert cloaks as they marched across the floor. But her sharp eyes identified the pair from the way they walked and interacted. Dorothy had learned the art of observing small details about people and reading their body languages. It was the only way to achieve success in a society that valued noble blood more than intelligence and wit. With a flourish, Gurney Halleck swung open his cape, spraying the air with loose dirt. The jongleurs' coarse face beamed impishly as soon as he saw Jessie. "About time you got here, laddie." Beneath matted pale red hair, his forehead and stubby nose were grimy, but a patch around his mouth remained completely clean, where it had been protected by the mask. Esmore Tuek kept his own cape closed, and his dark eyes peered over the top edge of the facial seal. "Sorry we didn't have time to clean up for you, my lord, but we've been out in the desert. Those Hoskinair bastards left us with nothing but junk for spice harvesting equipment. We need to get some decent machinery in here quickly. At a pretty price, I'm afraid. The Hoskinairs have probably rigged the market." "Our finances are stretched to the limit," Dorothy warned. "Anticipating problems, we've already ordered more equipment. What little we can afford." Looks like we need to order even more," Jesse said. "No matter how deep we have to dig into our coffers, we need the right tools for the job, or we can't do it at all." He smiled at her. "You'll find a way." "Somehow, I always do." Countless times, Dorothy had set priorities for House Lincoln, tightened the budget, even uncovered new sources of income. Now her mind spun as she considered the enormity of the problem. Attendants surged forward to assist with unloading their luggage and belongings. Dr. Yue, still wobbly, finally emerged. He took deep breaths of the dry air and made a face, as if smelling something unpleasant all around him. The two dusty escorts led the newcomers toward the nearby mansion, along a steep path. Wind from the rising storm found its way through the sheltering crags and tugged at their hair and clothes. Jessie and Dorothy both ducked against the stinging breeze. Their son had run ahead, but she called him back. Reluctantly, the brown-haired boy waited for them to catch up. "It's probably best for you to get a face full of grime the first day," Gurney said. "That's the way it is here on Dune World, and we haven't figured out a way to clean the place up yet. The accursed sand and dust gets into everything. I've got the worst rash on my—" Glancing at Dorothy, he left his sentence uncompleted. She took Bari by the hand as they continued walking. At a disapproving glance from Jessie, she released the boy to walk on his own, a few steps ahead. "The main spice fields are 1,500 clicks from here." Tuek quickly filled the silence. "But Carthage is the nearest stable and defensible site for a large city and landing zones." Gertie nudged Jessie and pointed ahead. "Feast your eyes on your new home, laddie." Through a haze of blowing sand, Dorothy barely made out the old headquarters mansion in front of them, a rock-walled fortress that reflected the brutish architectural tastes of the Hoskenaires. She thought again of their former home on the Catalan shores, the rustic yet welcoming wood furnishings, the rugs and fireplaces, the cheerful lights. In contrast, this place offered all the creature comforts of great hunks of stone and fused alloy beams. What have we gotten into? Immense statues of old Hoskenair family patriarchs lined the entry walk. "Those will have to come down," she said immediately. "Old Valdemar wouldn't like that at all if he comes back here," Gurney said, grinning more than scowling. Jessie paused for a long time before he said, "If Voldemort comes back in 2 years, I will be beyond caring."